Just go live on Facebook.
Thank you. Yeah,
Good. That means the meeting is set to start.
6:30.
Good night.
Good.
Yes.
Good evening, everybody. This meeting is being held in accordance with the public laws of 1975, Chapter 231, and adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by a notice sent to the Asbury Park Press, the 2 River Times, and the Star Ledger, posted in the main lobby of the municipal building and on the municipal website. OPMA authorizes municipalities to conduct public meetings through use of streaming services and other online meeting platforms. The Red Bank Council is meeting in person, as well as providing an option for the public to participate via Zoom video meetings. Please note that the option to attend is being provided as a courtesy. Therefore, if Zoom becomes unavailable during the meeting and it cannot quickly be fixed, council will continue with the remainder of the meeting. For those of joining us via Zoom, please raise your hand during designated times to be recognized for a comment. Whether you are appearing in person or via Zoom, you must provide your name to be recognized. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please, Laura.
Councilmember Bolin. Here. Councilmember Cassidy.
Present.
Councilmember Facey Blackwood. Present. Councilmember Forrest.
Present.
Councilmember Janelle.
Present.
Deputy Mayor Triano. Here. Mayor Portman.
Here. Thank you. Our borough attorney is running a few minutes late, but should be on his way, but we can move along with Jim, you want to take talk about our county open space grant?
Yeah, this is the open space, it's actually a CDBG application for 138 Dr. James Parker, which is a borough building. However, it's currently occupied by the Boys and Girls Club. And because there's some work that needs to be done in that building that we do own, I'm looking to solicit a grant application or request a grant from CDBG Monmouth County for, based on our estimates, maybe upwards of $200,000, which is the maximum that they would award for a CDBG project in the borough. And because it's in a census tract that would qualify, I feel like it's a good fit for use of funds because it's a building that we will have to maintain. So this would be opening a public hearing, and of course, Mayor, I think you'll ask for a motion and a second to do that for that grant application. It's a process that's required under the CDBG application to have a public hearing.
Do you have an idea of what needs to be done?
From just my initial talks with DPU, I know there's some mason work that has to be done on the outside of the building, the stairs, the sidewalk, potentially some roofing issues and window issues. But we have a meeting set up with Boys and Girls Club, I believe, next week to hash out a little bit more of that. But the grant application is due at the end of next week, so it's a matter of course that we hold this hearing.
I guess regardless of however the meeting goes with the Boys and Girls Club, we got to fix the buildings.
Exactly right.
Mr. Mayor, just for a point of order, I believe we need a motion to open the public hearing technically.
I just want to get the
I'd
background.
like to make a motion that we open this public hearing properly.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. If anyone has any questions or comments on this is on the corner of Bridge and Doctors James Parker. Right now, it's again, as the manager mentions, occupied by the Boys and Girls Club. It's one of the few, we don't own a ton of property in town, so we do have this building apparently. So yeah, it needs a little work. I went and toured it a couple months ago and it definitely could use a little TLC. So
Nice. One quick question. Yeah, Mr. Manager, is there any issues with the building right now? Is it functional? It's being used for its normal course of use?
Yeah, they brought no immediate issues to our attention as far as where it wouldn't be uninhabitable.
Mr. Manager, any of these changes involve making the building more energy efficient as they go into roofing and, they surround the building?
Fair question. I'd have to see if that would be a qualifier under CDBG.
Okay.
Anyone else have any questions? No. All right, then, can I have a motion to close the public hearing on this issue?
So
I'm second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Right. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes from 6/27/24?
So moved?
Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I have a motion to approve the exec session minutes from 6/27/24.
Make a motion.
Have a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, let's jump. All right, yeah, thank you. I want to open the floor for public comments on agenda items only. Can I have a motion to open the floor for public comments?
Make such a motion.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, members of the public, any questions on the agenda items only? Yes.
You smell one wash. Thank you. I've been sweating, but I didn't know I smelled that bad. On the wash. Well, then you better move.
All right.
Matters, I'm sitting right in front of it.
Okay, please.
Come on,
Yeah.
she should be evicted from this meeting.
Go ahead,
I'm
please, with your-
saying that.
With your comments, please.
That's why she doesn't work at the senior center too.
Okay.
Cindy Burnham, 71 Wallace Street. I'm just wondering if that public hearing is a matching grant.
No, so.
Okay. And also, I was curious about, when you did the water study, the water rate study, why wasn't there any competitive bids? Why did you just pick one? Anybody?
I believe, actually, I can't speak to that. It was in 2023, before my time, that professional service was brought on board. But under professional services, as long as you do it as a non-fair and open process and post it, you don't have to do it through competitive bidding.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Now, whether or not it was done that way, I'm not 100% sure without looking into it, but there is a process for that.
And also, I had a question, you're raising the water rates and sewer rates for the residents. Are you raising them for the businesses too?
It's all encompassing.
Oh, very good. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Anyone else have any comments or questions? Anyone online, Jim?
No, sir.
All right, can I have a motion to close the public hearing for agenda items only?
I'll make such a
Have a
motion.
second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, next up is the public hearing and adoption of 2024-25, an ordinance amending section 490-107, stormwater management and control of the borough's revised general ordinances to comply with the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection's recently revised stormwater management requirements. I have a motion to open the public hearing on this ordinance only.
So moved?
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Would anyone like to comment on this ordinance only? Anyone online?
Yes, sir.
I have a motion to close the hearing, public hearing on this ordinance only.
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Then I have a motion to adopt 2024-25.
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Bonatakis?
Yes.
Councilmember Cassidy?
Yes.
Councilmember Facie Blackwood?
Yes.
Councilmember Forrest?
Yes.
Councilmember Janone?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Trigiano?
Yes.
Mayor Portman?
Yes,
Passes, sir.
thank you. Next up is a public hearing and adoption of 2024-34, amending chapter 695, water and sewer of the borough's revised general ordinances to revise the water and sewer rate charges, sewer rates charged to customers. I have a motion to open the public hearing on this ordinance only. Have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone have any comments or questions on this ordinance only? Anyone online, sir?
No, sir.
Can I have a motion to close the public hearing on this ordinance only?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I have a motion to adopt ordinance 2024-34.
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Bonatakis?
Yes.
Councilmember Cassidy?
Yes.
Councilmember Facie Blackwood?
Yes.
Councilmember Fares?
Yes.
Councilmember Janone?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Triano?
Yes.
Mayor Portman?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Next up, we have an introduction of 2024-35, creating a new chapter of complete and green streets. Can I have a motion to approve this on introduction?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Bonatakis?
Yes.
Councilmember Cassidy?
Yes.
Councilmember Facie Blackwood?
Yes.
Councilmember Fares?
Yes.
Councilmember Janone?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Triano?
Yes.
Mayor Portman?
Yes.
Passes.
Thank you. Public hearing on this ordinance will be on July 25th. We have a handful of resolutions. Is there any that anybody wants to pull out, or can we just do them on the consent agenda? Let me know. That was good.
No objection, Mr. Mayor.
All right. And I have a motion to approve resolution 24-165 through 24-173.
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Bonatakis?
Yes.
Councilmember Cassidy?
Yes.
Councilmember Facie Blackwood?
Yes.
Councilmember Fares?
Yes.
Councilmember Janone?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Triano?
Yes.
Mayor Portman?
Yes.
Motion passes. Sir.
Thank you. Discussion and action items. Is the first one from Sustainable Jersey, is that just something we need to discuss? Or we-
Yeah. Who's doing that one? I think Laura.
Yeah, I'll do that one.
Okay.
So we added this year,
Well, hold on one second, Laura. Are you guys from Mechanic Street by any chance? No, all right, I can wait then. Block party approval. It's very, I wanted to make sure, All right, go ahead, Laura.
so Sustainable New Jersey, has a health and all policies. The mayor and council approved health and all policies, resolution 24-102 on April 11th. Helping to ensure the governing body and departments would work collaboratively to promote health and all policies. It's a collaborative approach for incorporating health considerations into decision-making across government sectors and policy areas. The resolution created a health and all policies task force to carry out this effect. That consists of Shauna Ebanks, Director of Community Development, Jackie Reynolds, Senior Center Director, and myself. The task force was charged with identifying new opportunities to improve the health of Red Bank residents and policy and development and implementation, budgeting and service. We went to a training, an all-day training on March 8th, 2024, held virtually by Rutgers University. Training was an introductory session focused on bringing community health and equity into municipal planning processes and decision-making. We did a data collection tool that we formalized for collecting data on local levels. Although the borough reviews the information from the U.S. Census Bureau and the American Community Survey, data gathered at the local level annually will help the governing body create the appropriate assistance to help those in need. Additionally, the borough would conduct a health impact assessment to further investigate key health issues and public concerns. There'll be budgeting and funding for this, data sharing. And the municipal departments, borough departments sometimes need more information to identify potential community health impacts on their projects and administrative tasks. Will help, the task force will continue to seek opportunities for the borough to approve this consideration for community health. So that was put into the Sustainable New Jersey. And just recently I started working with one of the Dreamers. We're working on a information or on breast cancer for the Latino community. It'll be open to everyone, but we'll have translators there. And we have Dr. Coley, who's a breast surgeon from Monmouth Medical, coming to talk. And we're meeting with people at the RWJ Barnabas to start that program, ASAP. Thank you.
Thank you. Looks like Mechanic Street is having their block party on July 20th. How convenient, walking distance. I'll have to crash it. Can I have a motion to approve the Mechanic Street block party on 7/20/24?
I'll make such a motion, Mr. Mayor.
Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Party on.
All right. Can I have a motion to open the Open the floor for public questions or comments.
Make such a motion, Mr. Mayor.
Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
I,
Public, the microphone is yours. Any questions? Yes.
All right.
Cindy Burnham, 71 Wallace Street. I just had a question about resolution 24171, 39 Marion Street. That, and if you might know, is that Paulo's house?
no,
I believe it's the house right next to the pickleball courts.
yes.
Oh.
I believe, yeah.
Okay. Cece's house. Okay, thank you. Just curious.
Right, anyone else? Anyone online, Jim? One second, all right. But you said no, sir. I thought you said yes, sir. And then we just stared at each other awkwardly for like a minute.
This is nice.
Anyone else, Sure.
A lot of people have been asking why the flag wasn't lowered to half mast when Mayor Arnone passed.
I had this discussion with Jim, because Jim, tell me what the law says.
And, you know, something I looked up as well, actually in a previous town that I worked in, the flag code of the United States is that the president or the governors of each state have the authority to issue flags at half mast. And if local officials do it, we're actually violating the flag code of the United States. I had to do a little research on that.
He was, you know, the mayor for such a long time and we have moments of silence for firemen and.
Yes. No, we'll absolutely we have a few moments of silence actually that we're gonna have, and I did go to his, Kate and I went to his wake and I got to meet his kids and tell him, how much he meant to the town, so, but yes,
Didn't know because you didn't know him.
I did meet him actually, yeah.
You did?
I did meet him, yeah, very nice
Here
guy.
when he was-
I was not here when he was mayor, no.
Okay, I was just curious about that. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Anyone else have any questions or comments? No? All right, I'd like to make a motion to close the public comment.
So moved.
Can I have a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Great, thank you. I was looking for something. So yes, as many of you are aware, we had a tragic incident that happened yesterday, or yes, it was yesterday morning at 3 a.m. There was a shooting on the west side. Young man lost his life. Has his name been released to the public yet?
Yes. Well, I mean, I know his name. They didn't release it.
I know, I'm not sure.
Let's err on the side of caution.
All right, so we're not gonna say his name, but I am gonna ask everyone if we could just have a moment of silence for this senseless loss of life. Thank you. And as Cindy mentioned earlier, Red Bank lost a long-time public servant, Mayor Arnone, who served in the assembly too, I believe, right? He was on the council in Red Bank. He was the mayor for a while. I met him when I was first running for office, just knocking on doors, didn't even know who lived there. And he answered the door. He was just a couple of years ago, so he was close to high 80s, if not 90. Sharp as a tack, was following everything that was going on, gave me some really good advice and impressed me in the brief moment I had with him. So I would also like to ask for a moment of silence for former Mayor Arnone. Thank you. Christine, you got anything?
Yeah, just a quick update. I'm happy to report that yesterday, a few members of the Historic Preservation Commission were able to meet with River Center's Visual Improvement Committee, whose interests overlap and hopefully align in our beautiful Broad Street Historic District. So mostly just get to know each other and what they do, but also share some exciting ideas for maybe future projects, wayfinding, how we can integrate historic narratives into the downtown. So hopefully beginning of a fruitful working relationship. Thank you.
Okay, when I have this, I'm gonna email it to you. I have a little statement I'm gonna read, and I'm gonna jump around a little bit. As many might have read, we had a fire on Ambassador Drive on July 2nd. Came in as a smoke condition at 9:30, was upgraded to a structure fire. And I just want to give a little perspective as a resident volunteer. First, I want to acknowledge the incredible leadership of Incident Commander Chief Frank Woods. I mean, he handled that job. It was a 2-alarm fire incredibly. But it was reported that a firefighter was injured. And I'm writing this because I have not publicly stated it. That was me. I was that firefighter. And after 16 years of service, I was the person on a scene that needed aid. And I wanted my friends and my neighbors to know what our first responders, paid and volunteered, go through. We've been in a heat wave. I talked about it literally last meeting. And I worked for about an hour and 15 minutes with my pack on, my gear on. We took the door to the second unit next door to go inspect for extension, we call it. I got to the top of the flight of stairs and said, I think I'm gonna faint. My partner, my brother, Nick. In that situation, the worst thing you can do is push through. You don't want to make a bad situation worse, put other people in danger. And I tapped out. I reported to the incident commander and went straight to the EMTs. And my heart rate was quite elevated. We took my turnouts off. I was drenched in sweat. My heart rate was peaked. The EMTs on scene told me that they watched the color come back to my face. And the number one killer of firefighters on incidents is heart attacks. I had no interest in going to the hospital, but I said to the EMT in charge, I said, I do my job and you respect it, I will respect yours. And he said, you have to go to the hospital. So I want to acknowledge Red Bank Police taking care of me, the EMTs from Hackensack Meridian, and Fairhaven First Aid in particular, who provided me transport on the ride over. I was already pretty confident. I was laughing. We were joking. I was asked where I live, and the EMT, the firefighter who rode with me, said, "Is that right near the new Cybertruck?" I said, "It was about a block and a half away." They made something where I was already kind of calm. I went easier, but I couldn't get a hold of my wife. And I'm in the back of an ambulance calling from phones that are not mine. I can't get her. And, just that community aspect of things that come along. And a brother firefighter grabbed his phone on his break, got a hold of his wife, who got a hold of my wife, went and got my wife so she can come on over to the hospital. I was treated with nothing but the utmost respect and dignity. A volunteer firefighter from Fairhaven was my assigned nurse. I went through an EKG. I went through a chest x-ray. I went through 2 rounds of blood work, 2 bags of fluids. My heart checked out perfectly. Everything checked out perfectly. It was heat stroke or a heat related event, which is to be expected on these days. I never was really nervous. My wife was really nervous. And I can only say I was visited by 2 fire chiefs. Councilwoman came on by, Kate, 2 members of the officers line of my company, and I was getting texts and calls from as far away as Baltimore, where Chief Holiday was unfortunately at a distance. I was released at about 1:45 a.m. And I say this because it's so hard. It was so hard. I was just racked with guilt. I was listening to that call, and all I could think about was I should be there. I should be working that scene. I should be putting away ladders. I should be wrapping hose. I should be washing masks at the firehouse afterwards. And as the night went on, you go, well, everyone else was doing their job for me. They were taking care of me. And I'm sorry it happened. I'm sorry, not that this happened to me. I'm just sorry that this fire happened. And I'm sorry that it got wrapped up and that we couldn't, I don't know, we tried to revive their cat and it didn't work out. And we did so much on that scene. And I'm just so proud of this community, because sometimes the best you can do is stop something. And that was a row house. And it was a great stop by this fire department and by our neighboring fire departments that came in our aid, Little Silver, Fairhaven, Middletown. It was just such a great piece of work. But most of all, it's just that sense of gratitude and that sense of community that comes with being a volunteer and a first responder in a town, and just having an opportunity to see people in your moment of need come to your aid. Just as you keep coming to theirs. 16 years, I've watched that happen to other people. And to get to kind of see it from the other side. It just shows you the system works, and it just works how people take care of each other. And I just wanted to say thank you, and I wanted to put a little bit of a public face and a name to what people go through in volunteering. We know what we're doing, and we know what we're getting into, and we do it willingly. And I just wanted to share these thoughts with this community, and I just wanted to say thank you. And I'm so honored to serve this town, and I'm so honored in the way that this town served me on that particular night. So just nothing but gratitude, and I just wanted folks to know that. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave.
Thanks, Dave. Thanks.
I'm glad you got the care that you needed.
You're no good to us dead. Remember that. Take care of yourself.
Sure, I'd like to, oh, can you hear me now? Yes. Okay, I'd like to talk about the Complete and Green Streets ordinance that we introduced. Part of it was for Sustainable Jersey, but it was also timely because ever since I've been on the Green Team, then later in the Environmental Commission, and as they merged, one of the things I've been very involved with is getting streets that are safe for all users of the road. So I was very proud to see that this ordinance is finally taking place. And yes, there is an advisory committee made of people like within the departments, but there will be a lot of public engagement, as well as looking at it from, looking at streets from an equity perspective, knowing who's using the streets and how they're using the streets. So I'm very happy to say that. Another action for Sustainable Jersey that I'd like to discuss is also the Community Equity and Diversity Profile Report. And this is just an analysis of our community as it is. Laura talked about the Health in All Policies Assessment, which sets a platform as we look at health and equity as we're doing our policies about making Red Bank a better place to live. And so mine is just a little bit about who's in our community. So if you don't mind, I'll read, and I'll try to read really quickly. And Laura, you'll get a copy of this. This report was also shared with the planning board as well. So the Community Equity and Diversity Profile is an action developed by Sustainable Jersey and was initiated by the Borough's Sustainable Jersey Coordinator. That's Shawna Ebanks now. This report serves as a look at the borough's diversity based on the available demographic and spatial data. Another focus of this report is to identify the socially vulnerable populations within the municipality and how the borough communicates with them. This exercise helps compile basic information about community diversity and the communication necessary for designing, implementing, monitoring, and evaluating equitable policies, decision-making processes, programs, and practices. The borough will use this information to better understand how to provide more equitable communications, public engagement, and the determination of the appropriate assistance, resources to address the needs of certain social groups. It goes into the 2023 master plan. The Red Bank Today report of the borough's 2023 master plan provides a detailed analysis of the borough's demographic and economic trends. The study compares the trends of the county to the borough. For specific data sheets, please see the master plan for further breakdowns. Red Bank's population growth increases at a slightly higher rate than the overall county. The younger populations have grown in the borough while declining throughout the county. The age cohort of 65 and older grew more within the county than the borough, and the borough's household growth was lower than the county's. Red Bank's housing unit growth was lower than that of the county. Red Bank's median household income increased by 26% from 2010 to 2019, which is slightly higher than the county, which increased by 21%. The borough's demographic profile in the master plan coincides with the information gathered for this report. And then it goes into the key takeaways. Okay, so this is the demographic data. The total population, according to the American Community Survey 2022, is 12,868. 60% of the population is between the ages of 20 and 66. 62% of the population's race is white, non-Hispanic. 7.4% of the residents have some form of a disability. 31.4% of the residents' household income is under $50,000. 51.8% of the residents own their own homes. 45.5% of the residents' rent is more significant than 30% of their income. 35% whose primary language is other than English. 25% of the total population were born outside of the US, and the majority of the immigrant residents are from Mexico. It goes into our communication networks. How do we reach out? Using the information gathered from the ACS and census, in addition to the experience and community engagement response from the 2023 master planning process, the following presumptions can be made regarding communication networks for vulnerable, marginalized social groups. Social groups are people with similar demographic characteristics, but these are not mutually exclusive categories. Individuals may simultaneously belong to several such groups. Vulnerable populations include low income, communities of color, immigrant populations, people with limited English proficiency, children, older adults, and people with disabilities. So what they found was under the vulnerable, marginalized social group with distinct communication needs were the Hispanic Latinx population, elderly, low income, African American, the unhoused and unsheltered. The communication channels for these marginalized and vulnerable social group is face-to-face meetings, non-English literature, word of mouth within cultural and linguistic communities, faith-based institutions, tabling or announcements at community events or venues, and social media. So here's some examples of community organizations and networks that are used by vulnerable social groups. The Red Bank Senior Center, Lunch Break, Parker Family Health, Red Bank Public Library, St. Anthony's Church, Pilgrim Baptist Church, First Baptist Church, which has the Feast Heartwarming Center, JBJ Soul Kitchen, VNA, American Friends Service Committee, Winklevoss Civic Association Food Pantry and Family Support Center, the Red Bank Police Department with the Volunteer Translator Program, as well as the Police Department, again, with the Social Worker Partnership Program. So the next steps is that the borough has taken steps to hire a community engagement coordinator who will be more than likely bilingual and will take on the role of being a liaison for the municipality to the public and residents. The coordinator will be familiar with social media and other online platforms to interact with the public and provide them with up-to-date information. Additionally, the coordinator will work with the different departments to assist and identify engagement needs and communication strategies for public involvement. They will ensure that all literature and messaging presented to the public is delivered in English and Spanish. Furthermore, there will be collaboration with the coordinator and existing community organizations to assist all the groups within the board. So that's what I have.
Thank you. Ben?
I don't think I have anything new from Parks and Rec today. I do want to respond to Cassidy's story of his heroic actions and the whole department over there at the fire, and I do thank you for sharing that. It's amazing to hear a story like that in the first person. You don't actually hear it usually in the first person up here, and it's so grateful for you and all the other volunteers for the many services, whether it's first aid or firefighting or just good Samaritanship. Something we can't take for granted. It's a chilling week. I mean, murder, I guess, was in my neighborhood and the other victim. And there's a lot of disturbance about it in our household as well as many others. There have been a number of murders in Red Bank since I've lived here, since I guess 96 when we moved in, and it's chilling, it's definitely affected us. And the last thing is that I wanted to, we have, Nancy and I staff the office hours at the senior center, and it's one of the best things as a councilman I think I've done. I appreciate Nancy always coming every Wednesday morning, and some of you others visit us too. Like this week, we heard about Zoom, and it reminds me how much interaction I have with residents who actually watch these meetings, whether it's Facebook, Zoom, YouTube, through SCOME's channel or whatever. And it's important that we have this digital availability of these meetings so that people who are not able to get here for one reason or another can hear and take part. You know, we don't always have perfect digital computer support here because it's multitasking, our manager's multitasking, and probably we need to invest in upgrading our speaker system, and I think we're working on that. I think it's on the list. But that's it. Those are my comments, Mr. Mayor. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Ben. Laura?
Hi, a few things. First of all, I wanted to thank David and Kate for both being at that fire. I know that I reached out to a couple of my friends that live in that community and I know it was taken care of very quickly. And I'm glad you're okay, Dave. Thanks for all your service, both of you. Happy to serve on the council with both of you. A couple things, you know, as we're here for a year now, I can't believe we're here a year already. A few things that I thought we highlighted, the committees that I'm liaison to, we're getting the 3 AEDs in the library, which I thank Hank and Sac Meridian Riverview for that. They look great. They're on every floor, which I hope we don't have to use them, but now we have them if we need them. We also, the library, just to update people that the elevator contractor is moving along. The architects came to measure the doorway, so maybe soon we'll have an elevator. Some other things from the library, there's having campfire story hour every Wednesday at 6 p.m. in July and August. There's still time to sign up for summer reading, read books, attend programs, and get cool prizes. And Fridays in July at 2 p.m., join us for Baby and Me yoga at the library. The animal welfare, we did collect over 1,000 pounds of dog food and cat food for the lunch break this year, which I think we've done really good with that. We hope to have a couple more yappy hours while Broadwalk is still open. And that's pretty much it for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Laura. Kate?
Let me just pull this report up. Okay. So I'm just speaking as the liaison to the Community Equity Engagement Committee. And this is basically just a summary of their diversity report. All right, so CEEC said surveyed committee, board, and commission members to understand the diversity of our members at present time and make recommendations for the future. This project originated as an action item for Red Bank Sustainable Jersey certification. Can everybody tell what season it is? So once again, it cannot be overstated. Thank you so much to Councilwoman Nancy Blackwood for her work on all Sustainable Jersey actions for years. I know she was actually also the person who wrote this survey that went out through the CEC. So always credit where it's due. So the goal here is to have diversity of our committees reflect the diversity percentages of our community. So the CEC compared the data from their survey to the data of the 2020 US Census. Primary areas of focus were age, gender, and race and ethnicity. And then they highlighted some major findings, but I just want to point out before I state that this full report and the graphics that go along with it will be shared on the Community Equity Engagement Committee's Facebook page. So these are the notes they gave me. Gender, according to census, male versus female is pretty well split. However, the survey showed 63% of members are female. Race and ethnicity. Most notably, we need to recruit more Hispanic members. The census showed that nearly 24% of the community is Hispanic, with just 7% as committee members. Next step, brainstorm sessions on ways to reach out to a more diverse audience. The session should include representatives from the CEC and other committee members, borough employees, and mayor and council. Full report will be available on the CEC borough page and their Facebook page next week. Any questions or comments can be sent to rbceec@redbanknj.org or posted to the Facebook page. And I also just wanted to take this moment to highlight that the volunteer recruitment form that we have on the borough website is still up, and it's a rolling submission. So if there's anybody who's interested in joining any of the committees, the form is still up there. That was something that we started when we took over form of government, to do more outreach to people to find new members, and we've had success with it. There's people that we don't know in this town that wanted to serve, so it's been a really great new tool. So thanks.
Thank you, Kate. It's been just over a year since this council was sworn in. Although I was here a little bit longer, and Kate obviously longer before that. And I thought I would, if you could cue like the Kenny Loggins music through the years, I thought I'd go through highlight some of the things that we had a hand in accomplishing. This is by no means a comprehensive list. We got the pickleball, tennis and basketball courts resurfaced at East Side Park. We got new decking done along the water at Riverside Gardens Park. We started the social worker program. We revised the Historic Preservation Committee documents. We completed phase 1 of our lead line replacement. We started work at Marine Park. We revised our short-term rental ordinance and made it enforceable. We replaced the playground at Camp Basie Fields. We revised our film ordinance. We awarded 3 cannabis licenses and 1 cultivator license. Regardless of what you might read, only 3 licenses have been awarded.
3
Will
licenses.
be.
Great,
Did we mention 3 licenses?
3 licenses.
great.
3 licenses. We expanded our single-use plastics ban to include takeout cutlery and condiments. We codified the broad walk, so it doesn't have to be a resolution every year. We rewrote the municipal code and hired a manager. We revitalized the mayor's wellness campaign. We've been holding consistent weekly office hours of both mayor and council. We took a shot at revising the parking ordinances to try and deal with trailers and commercial vehicles, and that's still a work in progress. So very happy to be working with this team. Jim, you've been an excellent addition. We rehired Mr. Canning here. Laura has been a rock star, and I'm not just saying that because me and her dog have a thing going on. That's not why I'm saying that. Laura's doing great. Yeah. Oh, there you go. You got the music. Look at that. All right, that's all I got, Jim. So, what music do you want for your report, Jim?
Metallica.
All right.
Man, my report is not as exciting as that. But I did want to, this did make it to a notification by the borough today, although not a borough project. And not a borough contractor that was hired. We did have a sewer force main that was struck by a contractor at the New Jersey Transit lot. Unfortunately, with a force main, it can't be shut off. So we've had an extensive amount of sewage discharged to the storm drains in that area. Obviously, all parties will be held accountable. The DEP has been reported to and on site. I was out on site several times today. Made contact with the project manager for that project. It was geotechnical environmental borings that were going into the ground. So it's about like a 4 to 6 inch auger that goes into the pavement to collect soil samples. They went in an area where our water utility department, specifically Bobby Holiday, told them to avoid. They didn't avoid, and they struck the sewer force main. We immediately called in Mark Voschek, who has been working on our water and sewer in the borough since the 1970s. I know Mark Voschek from working in Seeger Borough as well. He works in, I believe, 28 municipalities, well known throughout Monmouth County. He stopped his contracted job that he was doing in another town and immediately mobilized in Red Bank today. So that work is ongoing. They're looking to put a coupling and clamp on that pipe and get that hole closed up as fast as possible. We did put out notification to avoid any river activities, water activities on the river. Any shell fishing and, fin fishing, and to avoid that until some water samples are taken and cleared by DEP. It's an unfortunate event, but one that we handled immediately. And again, I can't overstate it enough, it was not created by the borough. The Marine Park parking lot is underway. There's work going on there now on the new parking lot at Marine Park. The mayor, myself and Oscar from Recreation met with the school board this past week to discuss the Green Acres application with the Count Basie bleachers to see if we can get to some resolution on that lease agreement, as they are a party to that lease agreement as well. We have a current Green Acres lease agreement with the school board through 2034. This new application would require an additional, for a total of 25 years, which is what those lease agreements have to be, an additional 15 years on top of that. So we are requesting that the school board work with us to get that grant money, about a little over $500,000 that is available to us to complete that bleacher and press box project. But it's contingent upon the school board's agreement there. I've also met with Verkada, who's a camera company, and they do a number of different access control, logistics. We have 2017 available funding to do some sort of IT camera upgrades.
Oh.
That money is available, and once I became aware that it's available, I saw a need for cameras in multiple areas of the borough, specifically our parks, to help with deterrence. Obviously in times when it's needed by the police department, and just to monitor public spaces like our parking lots and things like that for, security and safety. So we have met with them to discuss that project in greater detail. They're going to be coming on site on Tuesday to do a full walkthrough of the borough with multiple sites down at Sunset, DPU, 90 Monmouth, all the parks. And I'll look at the parking lots as well. So I don't have a full overview of that project yet. That's what I'm looking to get from them, but they are also a part of a co-op which guarantees competitive pricing. So next meeting, I'll ask for a resolution to just become a member of that co-op. It's no commitment by the borough other than becoming a member, so that you can obviously apply for that funding through that co-op. And I did just want to state in reference to the homicide on River Street yesterday. I was contacted by Captain Frazee pretty immediately when that happened. I want to state, and I can't overstate this enough, these guys have been working around the clock. They have not let up to figure out what happened, what transpired, and who is responsible. And I am confident, as the borough manager, under the leadership of Mike Frazee, that this is going to get solved, that they're working extremely hard. These guys look tired, but I'll tell you what, they have their boots on the ground. They've been all over that community talking to people. And I'm fully confident in them with their work with the Monmouth County Prosecutor's Office. So it's definitely a coordinated effort, and they're not going to be on the street for much longer.
Thank you, Jim. Do we have exec session?
Yeah.
All right, then can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
I have a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Hi.
All right, see you in 2 weeks.
No.
What?